That it won't rot. Woman shouting loudly. But no response. She tried to hit the wall with a car. That's still not going. A few days ago, woman and parents came to this mountain for vacation, accompanied by a dog. They came to live in a cabin on the mountain. The parents said they wanted to go for a walk. The woman stayed here. The woman woke up the next day and found that her parents hadn't come back. These 4 people are very disturbed, so she took the dog out to find her parents. The dog leads the way. At this time, the dog suddenly made a high gin bark. The woman hurried forward to see. The only son dare not move forward. There seems to be something terrible in front. Woman looking back while walking. But the dog rode it. At this time, an invisible wall blocked her cloud. She reached out to touch, like a piece of glass. But this little gap. She doesn't know how to sit for a while. This time I got up and went to read. Can be regarded as disappeared. She tried to find something else. Not far away, he saw a pair of old men. Just when she walked forward happily, Jun appeared in front of him again. The 2 people here stood motionless. No matter how she called Chengdu, she couldn't get a response. At this moment, she felt dangerous. Stepped back in fear. Then she decided to go back to the wooden house. But I still didn't see my parents. The next few days, she comes to check the wall every day. But the wall hasn't disappeared. On this day, when he opened the door and came out, this actually believed in the sect. He yelled loudly. Leaked a desperate expression. Turns out it's just a dream. She opened the door again. I stretched out my hands and covered it. She picked up the telescope. The 2 old people are still there. They seem to be held down by something. Women don't want to stay here. So she decided to drive out. She rushed the door towards the wall. The car was hit and scrapped. The woman's head was also knocked out of blood. But the wall still doesn't move. She went up the mountain and crossed the hills. But I can't find it back. She was crying in bed. In order to survive, she planted vegetables on the mountain and go hunting with a shotgun. It's raining heavily in the sky. Suddenly there was a cry outside the door. She opened the door and turned out to be a stray cat. So the woman decided to raise it to grow up. Then she adopted many animals. They are not just Yunliwu. For women, it is a spiritual sustenance. Gradually she got used to this kind of life. Looking at the blue sky. Breathing fresh air. There is no hustle and bustle of the city. I won't run for it. Find food for the animals every day. Enjoying what I have now. Gave up the letter to the outside world. On this day, woman found a map in the car. This picture ignited her desire to go out again. So he walked along the direction of the map. There is a truck not far from her. The suspended wood keeps shaking. Someone seems to have moved just now. She walked slowly. The stick in his hand blasted the wall again. Then the woman climbed to the top of the mountain. Here is like a big cover. Firmly surrounds the entire mountain range. There is no export at all. She invited the dog home this day. Just halfway through, the dog is suddenly slow, then ran out crazy. The woman hastened her pace behind. Finally she saw the first living person in the past 5 years. Just watch the man pick up the axe and slash at the dog. The woman rushed home in a hurry. Threw away his school bag. Took out the hunter at home and ran back. He shot the man. But the dog who had been with him for 5 years was also beaten to death by a man. She picked up the dog and cried sadly. He looked at the man who fell in a pool of blood, had lost his breath. So he threw the man off the cliff. Then he buried the dog on the mountain. He is sitting on the grass. As if the dog is still alive. Running on the lawn like before. Then the woman jot down the bits and pieces of these 5 years. This movie metaphors the physical world of suppressed patience. What he sees and hears is not recognized. She is the only one in the world of women. Humans are born social animals. The only vice of nature. Human beings are born with certain responsibilities. So even if no one, she will also look for other creatures. To support myself to continue living. So absolute loneliness is terrible. We just enjoy relative loneliness.